We are live and welcome to another episode of Shine Insiders Live. I am your host, Heather Burgett, and I have the wonderful Leslie Keeler Saglio here with me today. Hi, Leslie.
Hi, Heather. Hi, everyone.
So great to see you. Well, I'm so happy to expose our community to your incredible energy and work that you're doing in the world because I've known you a long time and it's been incredible to watch your journey, how you've really just elevated into this whole new level and chapter in your life. So we're gonna dive in and talk about that today and currently where you're focusing your energies, which are really how you help people detox from stress and find their joy. So we're also going to approach this from a learning perspective for our community because, as you all know, I'm an award-winning publicist, visibility expert, and transformational business coach. So everything we're doing here is to help our community get more visible, do things like Leslie has done to really get her presence out there in a bigger way to impact more people, reach more people with her message, her movement, the special magic of her work that she's bringing into the world. And so with that, I'll do a quick intro of you, Leslie, and then we'll dive into some Q&A. How does that sound?
Sounds good. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so Leslie, I mean, she has done incredible work in her lifetime. She's got nearly 2 decades of diverse experience. She's been a Hollywood executive to a startup co-founder. She's an international resident, currently based in Barcelona, one of my favorite cities, where I'm going soon too. Get to go see you there. Um, she's worked with hundreds of clients to help them stop self-doubt, to get clarity and confidence and ask for what they really want and have the life they truly deserve. She also, this is some cool stuff, she's been recognized as one of Barcelona's top 15 coaches. She has training in psychology, spirituality, science, and of course, the life experience, which we'll talk a little bit about today as well. And she also holds a degree from the USC Marshall School of Business. I mean, credential upon credential here. We've got lots of credibility coming through the screen today. She also has a unique blend of healing with neuroscience modalities. That's what she uses to help her clients have breakthroughs. She's been featured all over the world on stages, in the media. She's been recently featured in Entrepreneur magazine. She's done a TEDx talk. She's done talks for Apple, USC. She's been featured in Well and Good, Daily Ohm, Fox News. Oh my gosh, so much. And it's just so incredible to have you here today, Leslie, and for you to be able to share some of your journey with everyone today. So welcome again. And we're very excited to have you here.
Oh, well, thank you for the warm welcome, Heather. And you absolutely have been a part of the journey as a friend, colleague, mentor, coach. So wherever you want to go, I'm excited to be here with you in the community.
I love it. Yes. And little disclaimer is Leslie and I, we met what I think over 3 to 4 years ago now, right before the onset of the pandemic. We were in a program together and became accountability partners. And we've just, been friends ever since and followed each other's journeys. Leslie also has gone through my Shine Online Mastermind program. So she's also been a client, and that's where some of these skills she honed in terms of getting in the media and getting that global recognition really helped elevate her to that next level. And so let's just start a little bit about where that was like when you were, intending, I'm going to do my TEDx, I'm going to get out there in a bigger way. And then you decided, I think I'm missing a piece of my business model here, which, probably was more the PR plan and the PR than anything. Share a little bit about that journey of deciding to go bigger with your visibility.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as you had mentioned, we had been friends and we'd been in the same business mastermind program. So we had already knew each other, we were familiar with each other personally and professionally. And so you had been a part of my journey, taking my business online, getting more visible, and which actually led to me landing the TEDx talk, which I was invited. I actually did not apply. I was so visible and putting myself out there and doing all the things that actually someone invited me because they saw all the content that I was putting out there in the world. And after I did that TEDx, I just felt that what you were doing with your clients and what you were doing in your program, because I knew your expertise and really helping people get positioned as an expert in their field and really taking that global. I felt that that was the missing piece. And so I know that we had a conversation about where you kind of think you could support me in that. And yeah, I have to say it was one of the best decisions I made after I did my TEDx talk.
Oh my gosh. And thank you for reminding me that too, because, it's like I often forget the things that we do together or when I'm helping, people with their visibility. And they're like, oh yeah, Heather, remember that it was because of those things. And I forgot that you got approached by TEDx. And these are the miracles and unexpected results that happen so many times when we're focusing on our visibility, because when we're putting ourselves out there in that aligned way, it becomes a magnetic type of marketing where
Yes.
people come to you. And I love that. I've had other clients, same idea, like they're putting themselves out there and now they're being approached by publishers and they, conference bookers that want them to speak on their stages or, publishers that want to tell their story to the world. So that, as we all know, that is not the norm. Typically, you are going after and having to be very proactive to secure those types of opportunities. But that is the magic of good PR and visibility. So, and then the other big one I think that was really exciting was when you saw that you'd been named a top 15 coach in Barcelona, and that was also unbeknownst to you, right? Like that was kind of a
Yeah,
nice
it was
surprise.
it was a total surprise. And I think it came, I'm trying to think which one came first. Maybe you remember. It was at the same time I think it was before I had my entrepreneur piece full feature that came out. And I had no idea. And they tagged me and she emailed me on LinkedIn and I had no idea that that was even a thing. And yeah, it was really nice to have that recognition. So it just goes to show when, and you're obviously you know this because this is what you do with your clients and this is your expertise, is that when you get visible, when you're so aligned in your message and you're so really just wanting to be of service out there in the world with your message and your medicine, and know that there's only the way that you can give it in this world and there's someone waiting for you for your exact medicine and your help, that when it's so aligned, like those opportunities, they start to come in.
They absolutely do. And so I know also there's been an evolution with you in your journey in terms of your specific brand of magic and medicine that you're putting into the world. So can you share a little bit about what your journey has been like over the last couple years and how things are evolving for you? I know you've had some very challenging times, and yeah, feel free to share, whatever you feel might resonate with anyone watching or listening today.
Hmm. Yeah, how much time do we have?
I know, right?
I'll try to concise it, make it a few minutes. So yeah, so most of my focus has been with women, and that's something that came through the lockdown, sort of when I moved my business online and really getting niched in who is it that I really felt that I wanted to support. And so I've been helping women. A lot of my messaging and work has been around helping women step into more of their feminine energy, into their feminine power, and healing those parts of their past so that they can really start to ask for what it is that they really want, get really clear on what is it that you want now in your life? Most of my clients are 38 plus, so they've pretty much either had a family, relationship, they've had a few decades in their career, and now they are having that either midlife awakening, marital awakening, spiritual awakening, which I can attest to all of those, all three, all the above. And at that point, it's like for us women, we think that maybe that's it. Our dreams or what we wanted when we were in our 20s or 30s, it's over. But our dreams do not have an expiration date. And what I've come to personally through my own experience, and of course coaching women through their journey, is that it's actually a very exciting time. And we call like midlife or something that happens in our long-term relationship and our marriage a crisis. But in fact, I challenge you to reframe it as an awakening, that it's actually a moment in time when you can actually have a life so much bigger, better than you can ever imagine. And with all that wisdom that comes from only life experience, that from then you can really start to get clear on, okay, now I know what I want for myself, and it's not too late. It's not too late.
I love that. I think that's a potent message. It's not too late. I love what you just said. Dreams do not have an expiration date. That is beautiful. And this idea of a challenge being a reframe of it being a reawakening, and that challenge is the catalyst. So, what are some of the challenges you've had to overcome for your own journey?
Yeah, so so I myself have, and this, you mentioned the past couple years. So I'm myself getting more visible. Since we're talking about visibility, I've had my own very deep and personal midlife marital awakening, if you should call it that. And I found that it was an invitation. It was an opportunity to step deeper into the work that I've done and I teach and I preach, to lean deeper into that and just really also surrender and let go of any attachment of how I think life should be. I mean, that's, I always tell myself and I tell my clients that we are the generational pattern breakers. And so what that means is if we want a bigger life, that means there's going to be bigger challenges. That's just the way it is. If we actually want to break those patterns and we want something different, better for ourselves, then that means there's going to be some really edgy, like out of our comfort zone, crunchy times. Because it just hasn't been done before. And so for me, it's about, okay, how can I lean deeper into my spiritual practices, my embodiment practices, and come back into the wisdom of my body, get out of my head into my body? How can I step deeper into my feminine energy, my innate wisdom, and from that space, make more healthy and empowered choices?
And I know that because we talk a lot. We have a WhatsApp audio thread that's pretty long. And I've heard a lot about your journey along the way, and I know things are evolving. And because of these things that have happened in your personal life, how has that impacted your journey as a master coach, your own practice of what you're putting into the world? Like, what has really shifted in maybe in terms of what you're putting out there, whom you're serving? Share a little bit about that evolution of your journey, if you could.
Yeah, thank you for asking. So I think a big part of, and we'll talk about what I have coming up next. It's still there. It's still, my focus is supporting and empowering women, and still having them connect to their innate wisdom, unlocking their feminine power, stepping more into that. But what I've come to experience through my own life experience is that there is the strength, but at the same time, there is the invitation for softness and to be more open through all of it. And it's not just the relationship to yourself as a woman. Once we do that work, once we're so embodied in that work, this will start to, like, how does that affect all your other relationships with your partner, with your children? How does that start to affect them? And how can you, in those moments when you feel like you want to contract and you want to close and you feel like you're being triggered or you feel like you're being betrayed, how can you stay open? How can you still stay in your feminine power? Yes, strength, but also how can you stay open and how can you stay soft? And I think that's the big part of our power as women. And what I've seen in my relationship to my husband and with my children is that actually the matriarch, there is so, like, we're the ones that hold the power of, like, the softness, the strength, the love, the peace. Like, there is so much power, like, in the space that we hold in our relationships, in our life, and in our work. And so my passion now is to bring that even more into my work, that yes, there is the healing your past and stepping more into your power, but then how can you soften and be more open so that you can impact the lives of others with that feminine energy?
Oh my gosh, I love all of this. And I know you have a very special event that you've put together. And that's the topic of what we're talking about today is it's a stress detox with 3 keys to lighten your load and find joy. So can you share a little bit about what do you actually mean when you say that? Like, tell us about like the stress and what what the journey is for someone that would attend or join you for this experience.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. So what I found in my own experience, and I've shared a little bit about that, and then also with my clients, is that, life's in session. Life will be lifing. There will not be a moment where we don't have challenges, that we are not going to experience pain, but how can we actually experience still joy or peace through those life challenges? How can we move through them with more grace and ease? Because as long as we're this, or this body is still breathing, we will have challenges. And especially as midlife women, or women that are in their marital midlife or spiritual awakening, once you woke up, like, you can't go back to sleep. Like, once you realize that life is not the same, or, your foundation of the way that you believe life to be is not that, and you want something more, you want something different or better for your life, you can't go back. So it's like, well, how can you stay in that openness and exploration of self-awareness? And it's also about, how can you have the support and you're not doing it alone? Because a lot of what we've been doing as women is just lone wolfing it. We're doing our work, we're doing our relationships in a silo. We don't want to show, like, ask for support. A big part of our work is allowing ourselves to receive. That's a big part of the feminine. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm doing this event. I haven't done my own virtual event for like 18 months. So like you said, stress detox, 3 keys to lighten your load and find joy in everyday life. It's allowing women to be a better equipped with the tools, practices, and strategies so that they can move through those moments of stress, of anxiety, of overwhelm, because they will come. We can't get away from them. And I know we didn't mention this about my TEDx and my most recent surgery, but I've been through some pretty gnarly stuff in the past couple of years. And with all the embodiment practices and all the spirituality and the coaching and mentorship and plant medicine and all the things, life is still throwing it at me. And so I'm here to make a stand for women, that whatever, no matter what life throws at you, that you can always come home to yourself. You can always come back to yourself. And that whatever life is throwing at you, yes, we don't have control over really anything or anyone outside of ourselves, but the one thing we have control over is what goes on inside and the meaning that we give to our life experience. And the more that we can realize that, and we can regulate our nervous system, and we can realize that it's our nervous system that's really patterning how we show up in the world. If we can learn how to regulate our nervous system and come from a more calm place, that's where the clarity and the confidence will come in. And that's where the awakened, empowered woman will show up in this world.
Oh my gosh. And you are such a walking example of practicing what you teach. And I've, watched you over this last couple of years. You had, I mean, just to give some examples of your own journey and acknowledge you, is that you had a terrible accident that was pretty much a near death situation. You also had an issue with your back where you had to have surgery. And I am constantly astonished at your ability to recover quickly, right? Like even with the physical stuff, which, probably some people it would take years, like you have just been like almost like it's an accelerated thing that I've witnessed with you, because you're using all of your skills and tools to recover. And it doesn't mean you're not going through it and processing it. And this isn't about bypassing anything, but like you are able to move through such challenging times. And even, physical pain is probably one of the most challenging things for a human to go through. So can you share a little bit about that and your, how you used your own tools? Because really that's what you're showing people what to do, is how to overcome these very challenging and difficult circumstances in life.
Yeah, thank you for the acknowledgement. Our WhatsApp chat, you're very, very aware of what I've been through. So yeah, as you mentioned, like literally months, I think it was 6 months before I landed my TEDx, I had a near-death experience. And then just recently, I think it's just in 3 months ago, yesterday, was the anniversary of my spinal fusion surgery. So I have been through it. And of course, some stuff in the middle there as well. And what I've come to realize is the more and more that life throws me these things, it's like, you know what? God is just doing God's work. And yes, there are those moments when we have to feel the rage, the sadness, the grief, the anger, because sometimes it is frustrating. There's a moment, I'm sure in your community where we were doing the work and then we're like, when are we ever done? When are we done? When do we just get to relax? And we don't. It's never, ever done. And so but absolutely just leaning more into my tools. A big one for me is to ask for and receive support. That has been a big part in letting myself be seen in the vulnerability and rawness of my human experience. And a big part of that is actually having my family, like even, well, from you, like friends and family, friends, and then also like my family, like my children who are teenagers now. I would have never anticipated, a level of love and care and nurturing that I felt with my children through these life experiences, through these health crises, if you will. And it just goes to show, again, God's doing God's work. Is like we think our love should come from a romantic partner. It should come from our husband, or it should come from our mother or father. But like, oh my gosh, I've experienced love on like so much different levels. Like my daughter taking care of me when I came out of the hospital from spinal fusion, or you, Heather, like, you're virtually, but yet I feel like I've talked to you more than my blood sister. It's just like, you never know where those connection and that just that level of love and gratitude will come from. So that for me has been a big part of, yeah, this messy human experience, is just being open to the love, and to stay open when in times you want to feel contracted. But that is part of the human experience. So, we need to have those moments of contraction as well. But I found it's try not to stay there too long, because, the world, there are so many things to be grateful for, always something to be grateful for, and to find joy in, which is a big part of why, I titled my thing 3 Keys to Lighten Your Load and Find Joy in Everyday Life. Because everyday life, there's like this mundane, especially when you're doing all the things, you have your work, you have a relationship, maybe you have kids, and it just feels like one thing after another. It's like, well, how can you actually find joy? Whether it's challenges or that, everyday minutia, how can you actually find joy? Because again, a big part of my work is, as women, is how can you access that? Because that will activate those 4 feel-good chemicals of dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. So if the more you can come from a place of joy and pleasure and playfulness, you can start to rewire those new neural pathways and allow your body to realize, okay, this is what it feels like to feel good, and it's actually safe to feel like this. So the more and more you can do that, the more you can bring that into your life.
Oh, I love all of this and this idea of the rewiring, right? Because I think it's, some people think that on a spiritual path, it's like you're trying to get rid of everything and become, yes, we want to step into our potential, but it's really about integration and taking it all with us. And the things you're talking about and the tools you're talking about, I feel like these are the keys. This is the way that you like strengthen those muscles, so that when life does happen and things do happen, you have the toolbox to move through them quicker. It doesn't mean you're still not going to feel pain. We're humans, we're on this journey. Like I so hear you when you talk about all of that, Leslie. And I think it's like, how are you going to practice strengthening your muscles to deal with what's happening in your life? And I love this direction you're going with, all around relation to self, relationship to others. But really, what you're saying, and it starting with your relationship with yourself, is so key. So I love all of this, Leslie. Oh my gosh, it's been such a gift to have you here today and share all of these beautiful thoughts and philosophies that you have around healing and helping others. And tell us a little bit more about this event. When is it? How can people show up, and what are they going to get when they leave?
Thank you. Thank you. So it is happening. We start on March 26th, which is a Tuesday. It's a 3-day live virtual event. Again, stress detox, 3 keys to lighten your load and find joy in everyday life. We will start at 7 p.m. Central European. So we haven't done daylight savings. That's your time now. So that was 11, was it? 11 a.m. Pacific. Yeah, and so day 1 will be all about unlocking your innate power. Day 2, cultivate your deeper relationships. And day 3, finding your inner peace. And the invitation here is to come and join a global sisterhood, be seen, be heard, be held by women who are doing this work, speaking the same language. And as you know, our mentor says, a rising tide lifts all boats. So for me, it's not just about the theory, the content, you can get that on Google and YouTube, but it's also about the experience. So I really encourage you to come live if you can, because that I find is where a lot of the transformation and the healing takes place, is to be in that container with the other women and with myself. And so by the end of it, I hope that you will feel more empowered, that you will have had a transmission, that it's absolutely possible that you can go through this life wherever you are, to experience more joy, to experience more peace, whatever it is that you're going through. And also to know that wherever you are in your life, that you are exactly where you need to be.
I feel that. Yes, perfect. Exactly where you are. That's such a beautiful message to end on for today. And yeah, everyone, feel free to click on the link in the post here, the description. That is lesliesaglio.com/workshop if you want to register. Now, is this a free event, or is there a charge for it, or what?
Yes, it is free. It is a
Oh,
free event.
beautiful. Okay.
Yeah, it's Women's History Month, so come on in. We are here to celebrate each and every one of you. And yeah, so I'm just excited to be doing it this month of all months.
Wonderful. Yes, such good timing. And I'm hoping and feeling that today people are going to start feeling your energy and getting that transmission. But to get in deeper and feel more of this goodness, definitely sign up and join Leslie for this special experience. Again, she hasn't done anything like this in quite a while. So this is a really special time to get access to her and be in her presence in a live format, no matter where you are in the world. So thank you so much, Leslie. Thank you for coming out. It's been a pleasure to have you today. And anyone watching today, I love this takeaway Leslie just mentioned of, you are exactly where you're meant to be. And I will just share a little nugget too of saying it's your time to shine. All right.
Great.
We love you, everyone. Thank you, Leslie.
Hi, thank you, Heather. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.